Hi, everyone. A big welcome into 2022. I know 2021 was a tremendously intensive year, specifically around dramatic shifts and changes within our mindsets, our outlooks, and our heart. Really, our psychological pinnings of what drives, motivates, and encourages us. So it was a year of deep soul searching and also a year where there was a lot of scattered energy. You know, one moment there was inspiration in one direction, and another moment there was lack of motivation, apathy, uncertainty, clarity, and then motivation in another direction. And on top of all of that, I know many of us experienced this shifting of time where we have linear time, our day-to-day, our organization, our focus, and then all things transcendent, multi-dimensional time, and those two things intertwining. So where time sometimes felt like it was flying by, other times felt like it was lingering and lagging, and then gaps in time where it's almost as if there was memory loss or amnesia. Gosh, I forgot what I was doing 2 months ago. Even when I reflect on January, February, March, maybe that first quarter of 2021, I'm still confounded by where I was in that space. I've had to go back to my journal and really look at my new and full moon intentions and where I was in that time. So I encourage all of you in January. January is a very reflective month. It is not a month that really gives us a tremendous amount of momentum to charge forward into the new. It's more of a time to review, revise, reconsider, and reflect on the lessons of 2021. What was churned up? What was dragged down? What shifted and changed for you? What conflicted you, what afflicted you, who afflicted you. Not about displacing blame, but recognizing what it brought up in order to affect dynamic shifts and changes. And a lot of that has to do with the numerology and the astrology, specifically in the arena of the 5, which is about dynamic shifts and changes in order to create shifts in perspective to move towards greater freedom. So I encourage you, number one, in January, to spend time really going back through your journals, your new and your full moons, however you spent time setting intentions, reflecting, and see what you wrote and look at the progression and the evolution of that. See what lessons you've been learning. I mean, you may have to go back to what you wrote down because for me, some of it, I can't even remember. It feels like such a year where so much information, ideas, innovation was amassed and also destroyed, where it was like there was lots of energy, drive, and motivation and insight and wisdom and clarity and push forward and ideas, and then after that, a forgetting of it. A breaking down of, that motivated me 2 months ago, but today, why was I motivated around that? So spend time in reflection in January. And we kick off the new year with a new moon. The new moon is on the 2nd. It's written in your reports, and it really does. It's in Capricorn. So Capricorn is always about goals and vision and destiny and our reputation, how people see or perceive us from afar. So spend time on the 2nd, on the new moon, really reflecting so you can see what has been cleared away and also what's been coming up for you in terms of beginning to set intentions around your visions, goals, aims, outlook, destiny in overarching ways. Not so much, I'd like to accomplish this. I'd like to get these things done. Capricorn can be very fundamental and traditional and focused and foundational, which is important because this is laying a foundation. But with Jupiter just moving into Pisces, where we're going to get a burst of creativity. Pisces is all about transcendence, oneness, universal love, creativity. It can also be about illusion, idealism, delusions. But when Jupiter, who co-rules Pisces, the co-ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, and it co-rules with Neptune. And there will be in 2022 a conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune in 2022, and the last time this happened, I have it written down, was in 1856. So they've conjoined before, but in Pisces, their home sign, it's massive. So that we'll talk about that later on. But for now, there's going to be a resurgence in creativity, compassion, dreams, psychic insights, and evaluations. And so pay attention to your subconscious and your psyche. It's a wonderful month for introspection, meditation, reflection, not so much charging forward. Yes, suit up, show up for your day-to-day, be accountable, communicate, be responsible, but also give yourself the space to be, to reflect, to relax, to settle in, and settle in even when there's discomfort. So many of us want to get out there, initiate, achieve, accomplish, prove, and Capricorn wants that. Capricorn urges us to do that. So make sure that you're finding a balance between effective quality action and stillness, introspection, reflection, and receptivity. That is imperative. It's a 7 universal month, and the energy of the 7th, so we've got the 6 energy, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute because that's the overarching theme for 2022. But the 7 energy is the seeker, the soul searcher, the philosopher. It digs deep into wisdom. It loves to learn. It is the life learner. It loves to amass and assimilate information. So this is a time of research, internal searching, a focus on what it is that is coming together for you. It's also a month of connecting the cosmic dots, meaning, finding insights and awareness in areas that may not seem connected or logical. It's not so much about logic as it is about connecting that linear time with the multidimensional time, your ego, your human self, with your soul, your higher self, and your consciousness. It's a wonderful month for bridging any gaps. Does that mean taking action? No, but it means aha moments, insights, awareness, and those moments are private. They're sacred, they're spiritual, they're transcendent. They are poignant punctuations in your soul's recognition of what brings you happiness. And that comes to the energy of 2022 in the numerology. 2022 is a 6 year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals 22. No, it doesn't equal 22. It equals 6. It equals 6. And the energy of the 6 is the wise woman, the wisdom seeker, the mother and the nurturer, the healer, the energy of safety, security, hearth, home, and compassion. But it is also the energy of love and happiness. And it is governed by the heart chakra. So everything is about going back into your heart. Is this part of my heart's desires, callings, and longings? Is this where my heart is in these interactions, whether it's in work, relationship, home and family life, your spiritual life, your physical health and well-being? Any relationships, any environments, any interactions, it's a time to assess and recognize what your responsibilities are, and are they heart-centered? I'm going to repeat that. What are my responsibilities, and are they centered and motivated from the heart? Not the ego, not obligatory actions and interactions, but from the heart center. And Jupiter gives us that juju to come from the heart. Jupiter says, I want to lead with greater love, heart space, and compassion for oneness and kindness. And we are in a world that is utterly disharmonious, disrupted, and separated, where Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces wants inclusion, wants oneness and inclusion. And that inclusion and oneness starts from within. It starts from your heart. So at the beginning of this year, ask yourself what your heart's desires are. And if you're very logical and systematic and you like to break things down, break it into different facets and areas of your life. Your work and professional life, your personal life, your intimate life, your family life, your health and well-being, your spiritual life. Any components of your life, look at that and look at where you motivate and move from the heart, what those desires and longings and yearnings are with unselfish motivations. Not so much unconditional, but unselfish motivations, and where you can create more joy, freedom. That's what we've been uncovering from 2021, creating greater spaciousness, abundance, and freedom, but also feeling like we're standing on solid ground. And the 6 is about responsibility. And people who have heavy 6s in their energy are born with high levels of responsibility and duty. They also are very service oriented. So oftentimes they find their value in being of service to others, but a lot of times that gets misguided or misinterpreted, where they find value and identity through being of service, supporting, being responsible for the other, whatever that is, rather than finding responsibility for themselves. And it's about selfishness with a capital S, healthy self-care. Does this bring me value? Am I well rested? Am I well fed? Am I well nurtured? Can I show up for this with my whole heart and soul and do it unselfishly so I feel of service? There's a reciprocity. And the reason I bring up reciprocity is because of the repeating 2s that we have this year. 2, 0, 2, 2. The 0 is the great equalizer and personifier, and we have repeating 2s. 2s are always about relationship. If 1 is about the individual in numerology, 2 is about partnership, relationship, balance, harmony, and reciprocity, equality, and justice. So it is about really looking at cooperation, but self-cooperation. How do you cooperate with your mind, with your emotions, with your soul, with your body? How do you find that healthy self-care and then get to show up in unselfish and unconditional service to those around you? And oftentimes this can be painful because it means saying no. No is a complete sentence, and so is yes. I'm going to repeat that. No is a complete sentence without justification, so is yes. That is so challenging for many of us, including myself. And setting boundaries around our responsibilities instead of enabling and creating codependent relationships, which is a low vibration of the 2 energy, enmeshment and codependency, being able to heal those things so we can be whole and of our greatest light, love, and potential and clarity in order to show up and be of authentic service in our highest integrity this year. Is this going to be an easy year? Nope. Was 2021 or 22? It sure wasn't. But none of you are of the faint of heart. All of you in this accelerator and intensive program who are doing this work are showing up and committing to your soul's work and growth, your personal development on a daily, practical, realistic level, and how you find a sense of wholeness from within so you show up in the greatest light, talent, and fundamental wellness, optimal health and well-being in a world that is oppressive, is energetically challenging, can sometimes be overbearing. finding the connection within so you attract the community, the connections externally. And again, whether those are through people, through healing family of origin and finding new dynamics in relationship around family, because 6 represents hearth and home and family. So it's a year where you will be called to task in family matters, whatever family looks like to you. But also, who is your community? Who is your tribe? Who are the people who are there unconditionally for you and you are unconditionally there for them? How do you provide reciprocity? How do you show up? And how do people show up for you? These are big questions. It's a big energy. So I'm going to start doing these videos every month. Instead of writing out practices and things, I'm going to communicate with you and add a video into your reports. I hope you all enjoy this. I'm building out things for 2022 where we have membership platforms and login, and we will do this in the accelerator program as well as an intensive I'll probably be offering in April or May that will run through January, February of 2022. More information on that next or later on. So we're rebuilding my website for a membership login where you have access to more material and videos, and you can log in for your monthly reports and things like that. So it cuts down on the emails. You just log in every month for all of your stuff, which I'm super excited about. So be patient with us. We're working to build that out over the next 2 or 3 months, as well as me also dealing with personal things in my life that are shifting and changing. And I do want to share with all of you, because all of you in this crew are very special to me and important to me. And I want you to know that from my heart. This accelerator crew, you intensives that I work with, I believe in you. I learn from you. And I love intimately being a part of your soul's evolution and journey, because you are the change makers, the light workers, the renegades of light that are coming in to heal and grow even in the most auspiciously challenging and painful times we may have ever experienced on this planet. But I'm building this out, and I'm going to ask you all for feedback and guidance and help as we kind of test the waters out to see what works and what doesn't work. And I'll be soliciting that advice, but I'm going to ultimately make it easier and more functional for you to log in and get your stuff and access it. So I'm excited for that up level, and I welcome your input as we move forward in that. But I really look forward to working with all of you this year in our growth, our healing, our evolution, and how we can continue to heal ourselves, grow, find illumination and wisdom, evolution of consciousness, of being in very spiritual and metaphysical ways, transcendent, mystical ways, but also in our practical day-to-day life interactions, relationships, and health and well-being. That is what is important to me. I want to send you all love. And what I was going to share with you personally is Dennis and I have sold our house. We sold our house a few months ago and have been leasing it back. And we have made the bold decision. We were moving to Ecuador. So some of you know that, some of you don't know that. That was really the plan before we moved to Belize, and it's a long story, but we ended up coming to Belize as a holding pattern just to relocate outside of the United States and have an owned property here so we could diversify our assets and resources for the future. But also we have decided to move back to Austin, Texas in early March, tentatively, in order to take care of my mother, who, as most of you know, has stage 4 terminal metastatic breast cancer. She has done quite well for 4 years with that diagnosis, and miraculously so. Her oncology and radiology team, her palliative team, she's on a palliative bridge program for hospice when it's time, are astounded by how well she has done and how her pain has not matched what's going on in her body. She medicates with Tylenol and Advil for the most part and has for nearly 4 years. Very rarely does she take her pain meds or her sleeping meds because she's just strong. And I went to go see her back in July and August, as many of you know, and I saw a decline then. But when I visited back in early December, there was a noticeable decline, and I was able to go to her radiology and oncology appointments, and the news that we received was confirmed what we already knew was going on, and there's a pretty tremendous decline for her. So we are moving back to Austin and looking for a place where we have a mother-in-law suite and we can take her in and take care of her in what looks like this last year of her life. And that is certainly in God's hands and all the psychic gifts and abilities that I have. You know, fortunately, death is one of those things that I am not gifted with, and I am grateful to not be gifted with seeing when that happens, but I do pretty much have a clear indication of the path forward over the next 6 to 8 months. And it's going to be trying, and I want to be open and transparent with you all, but I also want you to know that the work that I do with each of you, it's an avocation, it's a devotion, and you all, your dedication, your willingness to grow, your integrity, your honesty, your insights, that stuff lights my freaking fire. It doesn't add burden and stress to me, it actually adds value. So know that through these times and what I'm experiencing, I'll be open and transparent. And if there is a month where things are acute or challenging, I will communicate with you all and ask for your patience and let you know. But I will be here to support each of you, because by supporting each of you, it's reciprocal to me. I feel enlivened and encouraged and motivated. And I just want you to know how much I value each of you. I deeply care and love you, but I also am remarkably inspired by who you are becoming, your bravery, your integrity, your big heart and souls, and the wisdom that you courageously seek to integrate and grow and expand in this lifetime. I love you all. I wish you a January that is revelatory, inspiring, where you can be patient with yourself, where you can dive deep internally, reflect on 2021 and even maybe 2022, the changes and shifts that have occurred, so you can start to build a more solid foundation as we move into the year. February will have a different energy to it with more motivation, encouragement, and inspiration. So I encourage you to use January as an incubation time. I mean, yes, get up, brush your teeth, get to work, do your stuff, but don't push to innovate and make new decisions and bold action. Just do what you need to do one day at a time, and some days it will require one breath at a time, one moment at a time, one conversation at a time. But focus on being of service to yourself by reflecting and really asking your higher self and your soul for innate wisdom, guidance, and direction. And listen. Open your heart, open your eyes and your ears and all of your senses to the signs and synchronicities that come your way. I'm going to pull a couple of cards just to close. I'm going to do this each time because I think you all will love this for fun, but also for guidance. Just a few oracle cards, and this is out of one of my oldest oracle decks, the wisdom of the oracle. Well, no, not the wisdom of the oracle, the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reid. It's the first deck I ever got about 9 years ago. And it's always resonated with me. So I'm going to just pull a couple of cards for all of us, just to give us some insights and guidance as to what's coming through for us as a group, us as soul searchers and seekers. And I ask for this guidance, this first card to be about 2021, what we want to reflect on. It's the card Riding the Wave. What a beautiful card. This card, I don't know if you can see it that well, is called Riding the Wave. And as you can see, the number on it is 41. 4 plus 1 equals 5. And I said, this is the reflective card for 2021, which is a 5-year. Love that synchronicity. First of all, there are 2 dolphins, and I know you can't really see it, but there is like a fairy on the dolphins as they ride the wave. So dolphins, as we know, are brilliant mammals. They communicate, they work in tribes and in packs. But riding the wave is really about navigating the ups, downs, highs, and lows from a place of not only a surety from the inside out, but also seeking and searching the fun, joy, and playfulness. So this is a reminder to really look back and say, where did I have fun? What brought me joy? What brought me a sense of ease and flow? And also, what didn't bring me joy? What didn't bring me ease and flow? What brought me constriction and restriction? What limited me? What trapped me versus creating fun and freedom and whimsy and this sense of playfulness? Back to your mammalian roots, your emotions, because dolphins represent the mammalian part of the brain, our emotional part, not the reptilian, the fight or flight, but the emotional inclinations. So looking back at your emotional intelligence and where did you experience joy, playfulness, creativity, and freedom, and where was that shut out or shut down? Assess those two things to show you what your heart is seeking and running towards, and what also really is asking to be shifted, changed, or cleared. You don't have to have those answers. Just ask for the answers to be revealed. Okay, so let's look at a card as an indication for where we are in January as we move into this new year, this 2022 new year, with different energies that are quite poignant, especially around the 6 in numerology, Jupiter moving into Pisces. We also have something that is happening that's pretty major in 2022. It's Pluto's natal return in the United States. I'll discuss that in February. It's pretty huge. The rescue card, and I got it in reverse. So there's the rescue card in reverse, which means the protection position. I'm going to show it to you in the upright, and it's the 16, which is y'all, this is crazy. 1 + 6 = 7. It's a 7 universal month, and there's the 6. I mean, like, is this like, y'all? You can't. I mean, the guides, your souls are with us. This stuff lights my freaking fire, okay? Here we have a 5, and I asked for the reflection. 4 + 1 = 5, and we've got a 1 here, okay? So the 1 is about the individual. What can I do? What can I reflect on? Here we are again with a 1 and a 6. The 6 is the energy of 2022. The 1 is the energy of what can I do? What is my responsibility? And 1 + 6 = 7. Freaking mind-blowing. And also, let me just point out, because remember I said reflect back on not only 2021, which was a 5-year, 2020, excuse me, a 4-year. There's the 4. I mean, like, I can't, I these cards flew out, okay? Don't you love it? Okay. So the rescue card, if you look at this card up close, and I love it, there's a woman, and she's in this cave, and there's this outpouring here, but this cave is like floating in the sky, and above is a hot air balloon with a telescope. So the rescue card in its upright position is about recognizing that you are responsible for your own rescue. You are responsible for being taken care of, and the way to be rescued is to ask your soul and your higher self, God, your higher power, to divinely show you what needs reviving, retrieving, reclaiming, rescuing from within you in order to create greater wholeness, okay? In reverse. And in order to do this, this signifies kind of the higher power. It means you can't do this alone. There's something bigger out there watching over you. You are not alone. And your biggest recourse, and this is always in the 7 energy, I always say to people, when in doubt, when worried, when insecure, when overwhelmed, ask your higher self and your higher power first, and then await the guidance. And after that, then you can seek out counsel or guidance from others, other trusted sources. But go to your higher self first. And that's what this card says. In reverse, it says, get out of your freaking own way. So when you get into ego, I got to get this done. I got to get it all done right. I got to get it done well. All the perfectionistic, ego-based, restricted, limiting beliefs, when you feel that intensity, that shutdown, that anger, that pain, that impatience, the restlessness, irritability, discontent, that's when you want to notice, wait a minute, that is blocking me from all the things that I am ready to rescue or reclaim within myself, the awareness of those things from my higher self, my soul, and my higher power. That restriction is blocking me from receptivity. Oh my gosh. Are these not totally remarkable, these cards and their messages, as well as the synchronicities? Okay, I love you all so much. Wishing you a beautiful January. And I'm looking forward to chatting individually with each one of you. Sending you so much light and love and the highest joy as we move individually and collectively and together into 2022. Be well, all my friends.